Now that you have your number management function created on your Twilio account, we're going to go over how to use the applications within your function. From the number management dashboard, you'll have your options for the various applications you can use within the function. The first one we're going to go over is the list and extract active Twilio numbers. So here, at the beginning of each function, there's going to be an overview at the top. This overview is going to go over some of the limitations or restrictions that the function might have, so make sure you always review the overview content at the top. Next is going to be your password. This is going to be the password that you entered and created when you made your function. Next is the account SID that you're working with. For security purposes, it's blurred out by default, but you can click Show Account if you want to just confirm the account you're working with here. Next are going to be number properties that you want to see in the results. So you can add some, you can remove some, and really adjust what you want to see in your list numbers. Now, if you only want to see active numbers on a sub-account, be sure to enter the sub-account SID here. Otherwise, leave it empty if you want to see a list of numbers on your main account. To retrieve numbers on all sub-accounts and the main account at the same time, check this box. You can also show results for numbers that start with maybe a specific country code here. You can choose to use page nation and add a maximum amount of numbers returned per page if you desire. There's also going to be a selected format that can be used when you download the data, either CSV or a text file. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and list the numbers. And we see in the results, these are the parameters in order that we identified up top here with our little boxes. And we'll see in the results, we have account SID, and respectively, we have account SID, address SID, address SID. Here it's null as no address SID is assigned to this number. We see that both of the numbers here, we have our phone number and our phone number SID. These are both on my main account, and I have no numbers on my sub accounts. Now that I've checked my numbers, I'm going to come back up and go back to my number management dashboard. I want to go ahead and transfer one of these numbers. So I'm going to click Transfer Numbers within a main account. This app actually provides a variety of options. You can transfer a number between sub-accounts present under the same main account, from a main account to a sub-accounts, or from sub-accounts to their main account. If you're looking to transfer a number between unrelated accounts, you'll still want to reach out to support at this time. Again, we have our password and our account SID confirmation. The first step to transferring a number is we need a bit of details about the number. So you want to go ahead and enter in here the number that you want to transfer and click Fetch. We're going to get some results. Here we're going to have the number, the phone number SID, and the account SID, as well as its status and address requirements. Now we're going to move down to transferring the number. Before we transfer the number, please note, any numbers that have WhatsApp configurations that you want to preserve, please do not transfer using this tool. Still reach out to support. If your numbers have any A2P registrations, these registrations will be lost in the transfer. You would have to re-register them on the new account. So make sure you read this FAQ page before you do any transfers. If your numbers are hosted numbers, they shouldn't be transferred using this tool. Be sure to reach out to Twilio support to help transfer a hosted number. We also have some helpful details here of sub-accounts that are available under the main account to transfer this number to. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the phone number SID and enter it in the top here. I'm then going to grab the losing account SID. This is back up top here, the account SID that it's currently on. Put that here. And I want to go ahead and move this number to one of my sub-accounts. I'm going to pick that first one. Now, if your number requires regulatory requirements, you do want to put in the bundle SID and the address SID here. If you do not put in a bundle SID or an address SID and it is required, or the regulatory requirements you entered do not match the actual required regulations, the transfer is not going to complete. As this is a US number, there's no bundle or address SID requirements, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit transfer. I'm going to get a pop-up. This again reminds me of any WhatsApp configurations or A2P registrations and asks me if I want to proceed. Today I do. I'm going to click OK. Below, we see that it was successful. I got a successful result here, and it gives me details about the number transfer itself. Now, I want to come back up to my number management and go back into my list and extract active numbers. Put in my password, and I want to retrieve numbers for all sub-accounts and main accounts and list my numbers. Here we can see that my number, I now have 1 on my main account, and I see the number I just transferred here on my sub account. Well, now that I finished transferring some numbers, I want to check some of my number activity. So I'm going to go into check number activity. I'm going to put in my password. And again, there are some parameters up top or restrictions, so be sure to read through these before you perform your query, just to make sure you understand how it's going to work. Now, I'm not going to enter a sub account. I'm going to leave this blank to check activity on my main account. I don't want to check any specific numbers, so I'm going to leave this blank so I can check all my numbers. At this time, I don't want to filter by a specific country code, so I'm just going to leave that one blank too, but I do need to adjust my date here. So I'm going to come in. Let's do November 1st. And let's go to December here. Now, I could use volume limits or set a maximum number of messages or calls to check per number, but I'm just going to leave it as the default for now. I can select CSV or text. I can check and list activity. Here we have the parameters that are going to be returned in their order, and then the respective results with the details here below. Now, I had just done a maximum number of messages per number is 1. I'm going to adjust it a little bit, do it to 10. We're going to run it again and see if we get different results. Here, we don't, because we just have 1 on this number here. All right, number management. I want to go back and check my number usage. So here, again, this one has a lot of details, so be sure to read through this one to understand how you're checking usage to and from a main account or your sub accounts. Some of the big ones to remember is if your Twilio account currently deletes your messages or calls automatically, they're not going to be part of this report. And go ahead and hit 1. Now I'm just going to leave this blank so I can check usage on my main account. Got to be sure to adjust the date here as well. November 1st to December 6th. All right, I'm going to keep both traffic types here for now. I don't need to group based upon country, so I'm going to leave this unchecked, and I'm going to leave the country list as default for now. I'm going to go ahead and check and list usage. And here we see the parameters are up top, traffic type, direction, to, from, and we can see the results out here for messages and calls. Now we've gone through how to use your number management function and its applications within so that you can interact with your account in various ways at any time that you like.